Hello, my name is Professor Williams, and this is a slight introduction on our course. You see behind me, this is a U.S. history class, and then I also offer a world civ class. Now what I want to do is walk through the board, what you see behind me, and kind of give you an introduction to the course, give you a rationale to the course, just kind of give you a little bit of a roadmap as to what we're up to this semester. I couldn't think of a better way to kind of do this, especially since we use face-to-face and we also do online instruction. So let me take you to the board and walk you through. Now, for some of you, you're probably saying to yourself, why am I here? Now, what you're going to see is some of you are here for 3 credits, no harm, no foul. History isn't exactly your bag, but that's okay. You just need to get those 3 credits and move on. We got some of you that are here not only to get the 3 credits, but also up your GPA. Now, I want you to notice something here real quick. We have A, B, and C. I'm going to erase D and F for one simple reason. If you do everything I asked you to do with regards to assessments, you're definitely going to pass. What we're also looking for is if you're a C student, we want you to work your way to a B, and if you're a B student, we want you to work your way to an A. Now, what I like more than anything about this course, or both of these courses, is the fact that we're not just here for 3 credits, we're not just here for a grade. What we're also trying to do is lay down a foundation for other courses that you'll be eventually taking. Now, English, government, econ, philosophy, math and science, and into your sociologies. Now, history falls within the domain of humanities, and although we live in a STEM world, I still say it's history and courses like history that essentially set the table for other courses to come. One of the things I like to pride myself with regards to my instruction is the fact that what we're trying to do is not only get you through with 3 credits, getting a good grade, but we're also trying to help you become a better student, which kind of serves as a segue to this next component. Now, one of the goals, primary goals of this course is to get you, for all practical purposes, to end up with critical skills of thinking, reading, and writing, and ultimately this right here, listening. Now, what you'll find is that we read the textbook, we come for lectures, we study, we take assessments. We want to engage all of these skills right here, and by the end of the course, these will all become much more acute. In other words, it kind of comes back to what I talked about earlier with regards to helping you become a better student. If all you do is come in here, pass this course with a great grade, and you leave better prepared for these other courses, job done. Job done. And this kind of serves as this right here. We're also establishing what I call an intellectual resume. We're sharpening your tools for not only becoming a better student, but also becoming a better worker, a better human being, and you're going to take all these skills into the workplace eventually when you get that great job after you graduate. Now I'm going to continue to work across the board here. Now, one of the things that I like to encourage you to do as much as possible as far as being successful is to work ahead and stay ahead. Now, most of you, I'm sure, have a part-time job or in some cases a full-time job. One of the things you always want to do is get a hold of that syllabi, get a hold of that course schedule, and continue to work on your stuff each and every day. And I'll encourage you to do so. And one of the things I pride myself on the fact is that I'm available 24/7 through the blessings of email and announcements and all these other things on the platform for Blackboard and Canvas. So you can always get a hold of me, and I always pride myself on trying to get a hold of you, getting back to you within 24 hours. Now, something else that's going to go on in the course, the progress of this course, we're going to help you become more what I call humane. What does that mean? You're become a compassionate person, empathetic person, sympathetic person, retrospection. In other words, you're going to start to think about how things occur. One of the things I want you to do in the nature of this course is to have you step back. What you're basically going to do is as you're studying, as you're going through, you're going to take a couple steps back and become an observer. All right? You're going to become an active observer. Now, something else that you're going to develop is metacognition, and this is one of my favorites. It's the ability of you to think about thinking. Now, I will say this, when I actually was a student and I heard that term, I thought to myself, how in the world do you actually think about thinking? And one of the things that I will encourage you to do, and believe it or not, is I'm gonna actually encourage you to do this, is doodle. Doodle in your note-taking. You're actually thinking about what you're hearing, what you're seeing, and what you're actively participating while you're doing this in class. And I really encourage you, in the nature of this class, is to kind of put your hand up from time to time and stop me if something doesn't make sense. Because if it doesn't make sense to you, I'm sure 8 to 10 other people in the class are basically feeling the same way, and it could lead to a great discussion. Now, something else that we're going to get from this course. We're going to learn about failure. We're going to learn about how people learn from failure and turn it into success. Now, one of the things that I will tell you, you learn more from failure than you do from success. And trust me, in the course of our history, or making our way through history, you're going to see a lot of failure, but you're also going to see a lot of success stories. And last but not least, probably one of the 2 most critical things that you're going to have in your life is we're going to learn how to develop, not necessarily develop hope, but identify what's hopeful, and then of course learn how to cope. And that's one of the beautiful things about your college education, is you're actually learning how to cope, and you're learning all these things. Consider this kind of the hidden agenda to your class. Now, how are we going to do all this? We're going to study chronology, geography, people, individuals, ideas, motives, and movements. Now, I realize this is a lot right here, but what I'm going to end up doing is taking you through anywhere from 14 to 15 chapters, and I'm going to break this all up into little pieces. I'm going to tell you stories, little vignettes, that one story leads to another story that leads to a big story, and we're going to kind of sort this all out. All right. Now, how are we going to assess this? We're going to do it through quizzes, daily, actually weekly discussion questions, which I'll actually post on online for you, exams, which typically come either in 3s or 4s. I don't like to have a midterm or a final where everything is cumulative. What I like to do is break it up into little pieces, so that way you take this piece, you take the information you got from this piece, morph it over to another piece, morph it over to another piece, and move it into another piece. Now, granted, that doesn't always necessarily mean that it's all cumulative, but what I like to do is break it up into smaller chunks. You tend to learn better. Now, something else that's going to go on here. Notes. I want you to take notes in this class, and it's real big because it actually shows that you're engaged into what you're seeing and what you're listening. And then you're going to do something with this. Now, last but not least, attendance. I give you points for attendance. I expect you to be here, because if you're not here, you're not learning. But one thing I have found in 23 years of being in education, life gets in the way. Just keep me informed. If the goldfish dies and you have to go into therapy in Arizona, just email me, say, Williams, I'm not going to be around for 7 to 10 days. Trying to sort out the death of my goldfish. Just get a hold of me. I'm being facetious with the goldfish thing, but I'm just trying to let you know that life does get in the way, and I can certainly understand it. Now, last but not least, your grade is entirely up to you and what you do to accomplish that. Do you want an A? Work for the A. Do you want a B? Work for the B. Do you want a C? Work for the C. Now, the last thing I want to do is I want to show you a video, which is one of my favorites. And what this is Denzel Washington giving you his rendition on the purpose of failure. Now, that's not to say that you guys are failures, but what I'm trying to show you, or at least through this video, that doing something that you really care about, doing something that you love, and doing it in a big way, you're going to learn a lot of stuff, not only about yourself, but the world you live in. So let me start this video, and I think you'll kind of like it. Again, nice to meet you, and I look forward to a successful semester with you.
flunking out of college. I had a 1.7 grade point average. I hope none of you can relate. I had a 1.7 grade point average. I was sitting in my mother's beauty shop. They still call it beauty shops now? What they call it now? Yeah, I'll sit in the beauty parlor. I was sitting in my mother's beauty parlor, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I see behind me this woman under the dryer. And every time she looked up, every time I looked up, she was looking at me, just looking me in the eye. And I didn't know who she was, and I said, she said, somebody give me a pen, give me a pencil, I have a prophecy. March 27, 1975, she said, boy, you are gonna travel the world and speak to millions of people. Now mind you, I was flunked out of college. I'm thinking about joining the army. I didn't know what I was gonna do, and she's telling me I'm gonna travel the world and speak to millions of people. Well, I have traveled the world, and I have spoke to millions of people. But that's not the most important thing, the success that I had. The most important thing is that what she taught me and what she told me that day has stayed with me since. I've been protected, I've been directed, I've been corrected. Fail big. That's right. Fail big. You only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances professionally. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. So don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. I try to give myself a goal every day. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. You've heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. And in this text, tweet, twerk world that you've grown up in, remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Remember that. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. My mother told me, she said, yeah, because you can run in place all the time and never get anywhere. So continue to strive, continue to have goals, continue to progress. And anything you want good, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back. Pull someone else up. Each one, teach one. Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference.
Okay, guys, that's it. We're on a journey. It's not a perfect one. We're going to discuss a lot of good stuff. Take care. I'll see you later. Bye.